I said in the intro, you did your first regression at age 13. I believe your soul was calling to you, your higher self was speaking to you from a young age, directing you, on your path. Can you share with us your sacred story and, in regards to that, your regression and, at that point?
Thank you. I would love to. Regression came for me into my life very early on. I was not brought up into a religious environment, so it's not that I even believed in reincarnation. In fact, I grew up in a communist country, so the idea of the divine was unknown to me, right? Very new to me. And when communism came down as a regime, and people are so hungry for that connection. People are searching for the bigger meaning in their own lives. And it was in that environment I came across a book on past life regression and how the tool itself was so amazing to be able to help people with phobias and physical conditions and with emotional trauma and with loss. And truly, you name it, there was a story on it. And I was so intrigued. I was so curious, and so I decided to experience for myself if I have had any past lives. And that mind of the novice, that place of curiosity and openness is truly the best way I want to encourage and recommend to any of our listeners who are curious about their own past lives to approach doing a past life regression. And so I created my very first past life regression recording, and you know how, Patricia, this is jumbling of timelines and definitely not following a linear unfoldment of our conversation. But in Beyond Past Lives, I speak about time being simultaneous and everything happening simultaneously. So truly, there is no cause and effect. And so the moment of Mira creating her very first recording as a past life, as a past life guidance, and the moment of Mira doing this interview with you right now and having gone into a recording studio hundreds of times to record recordings and, guiding people to lead a regression, through their own regressions is all happening right now. And so it doesn't surprise me how in that moment I had such a comfort of creating my very first past life regression recording, right? Or leading my first past life regression experience years later for others. So that was just me having my own amusement and my own story, really, for those of you who are following along. And so I had a very powerful experience that gave me the bigger picture of my soul. It led me to understand and that in that lifetime, the lesson that I had learned is that love is the most important. Love is the most important. That I'm here to love. I'm here to love and connect. I'm here to serve through love. That was the lesson in that life for me. And as the life unfolded, I came to the moment of my spirit leaving the body. And now it's very interesting because, at 13 years old, I definitely have not spent a lot of time thinking about death or even worrying about it, right? Or having my own fears of dying. And yet in that moment, I experienced the most beautiful thing where I saw myself looking from above at this woman who I was in that other past life. And I saw her spirit leaving the body, and there was such a beautiful moment of love and of understanding. There was no fear, there was no worry, there was truly just love and release and the remembrance of the bigger me. And that bigger me continued on to this trail of light. And it's almost as if, angels were singing. There was such a peaceful, perfect moment of eternity having slowed down for me to observe. And so that was my very first experience. And from there on, I grew to to have other interests and pursue other passions in life, and then eventually return back to past life regression as my way of serving and truly changing people's lives every day, which is the greatest blessing to feel so fulfilled in your life.